Coming up on this edition of Carolina Week, the men's basketball team got its redemption, and fans stormed Franklin for the first championship win since 2009.
When you go online, you are being watched, but just who is watching and why?
Not all members of the police force are human. Now some of its smallest members are getting geared up. All that and more, Carolina Week
starts right now.
From the UNC School of Media and Journalism, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
A hero's welcome for the men's basketball team as the national champs returned to Chapel Hill yesterday. After 364 days, the Tar Heels earned their redemption. Good afternoon, I'm Alex Perret.
And I'm Sharon Nunn. Chapel Hill is still buzzing with excitement after Monday's big win. Carolina Week's Brendan Marks was on the road with the team, and now that he's back in town, we go live to him in the middle of campus. Brendan, have you had a chance to catch your breath yet?
Sharon, not quite, but it's good to finally be back in Chapel Hill.
Good to have you
I've
back.
been on the road with the Tar Heels for their whole NCAA tournament run. Carolina fans at the game went absolutely crazy after our win. And because I just got back from Phoenix last night, I've been trying to catch up on some of the campus celebrations that took place here in Chapel Hill. Now, here's some of what I've seen so far, and be warned, it gets a little bit loud. As the final buzzer rang in Phoenix, Tar Heels and Chapel Hill started celebrating. Soon they started running to Franklin Street to mosh with 55,000 of their closest friends. Overall, Monday night was the fitting end to this UNC basketball season. So we've seen how students reacted to the national championship win, but what about the team? We heard from Coach Roy Williams and Isaiah Hicks right after they won the national title.
At the end, when you're watching your kids jump around and the excitement, the thrill they have, there's no better feeling in the world as a coach.
Once I seen Kennedy block the shot, we was only up, I think, by 5. Play was still going on. I had my hands in the air, teared. I really couldn't see nothing. And next thing you know, I seen Kennedy steal it, and I think I almost lost it.
Now, that's the last that we'll hear from Isaiah Hicks and the rest of the UNC seniors, for that matter, at least in their Carolina blue uniforms, excuse me. But when Carolina fans think back to this team, these are the people they're going to think about. Sharon, back to you.
Brendan Marks live from the Student Union. Thanks, Brendan.
Step 1 is winning the national championship. Step 2, letting everyone know that you've won the national championship. Carolina fans stormed the UNC student stores Tuesday morning to get their hands on championship t-shirts. Tables of merchandise cleared out in just a couple of hours, and extra staff came in to help customers check out. If you didn't get your t-shirt, no worries. Student stores will be replenishing its stock in the next few days. Championship winning teams require excellent training facilities, and as reporter Luke Akinsola shows us, a couple of athletic facilities on campus are getting a $90 million makeover.
Kenan Stadium has been the home of Tar Heel football since 1927, and Betzer Field has hosted UNC soccer and lacrosse games for more than 80 years. Though priding itself on its storied tradition, athletic officials feel like it's time for a change.
Outdoor field space is something that we just don't have enough of. So this project won't solve all of those needs, but it'll go a long ways and be a huge step in the right direction to help students and student athletes as well.
That's Rick Steinbacher, a senior associate athletic director at UNC. He's talking about renovations that'll be happening at Betzer, Finley, and Henry Stadium. So, how big will this project be?
It's a huge enhancement that touches many of our sport programs.
The programs included our men's and women's lacrosse, who will play here at the new and improved Betzer Field, as well as both soccer teams. Carolina football will be strapping their helmets up in this indoor practice facility with synthetic and natural grass fields neighboring it. Track and field athletes will compete here at Finley Fields with 2 additional practice fields for soccer and lacrosse. And lastly, the field hockey facility will be locating at Aaron House Field. A lot to get done by August 2018, which is the targeted due date. But facility planning and management official Mike Bunting says the cost and work will be worth it, especially since the project will benefit beyond the athletic department. UNC long jumper Alexis Gannon agrees.
It will just be incredible for them as well to get the chance to take advantage of the new renovations that they're having on campus.
As you can see, renovations here at Kenan Stadium are already underway. Now the playing surface will still be made up of grass, but there'll be a turf apron wrapped around the field. All these efforts in hopes to make UNC more of a catch for recruits and non-student athletes. In Chapel Hill, I'm Luke Agansola reporting.
UNC Campus Rec will be partnering with the athletics department to allow students to use some of the fields for intramural activities.
Moving on to a more serious topic, nearly 1 in 4 North Carolina children is food insecure, meaning they're receiving some kind of food assistance. And according to recent data, North Carolina is one of the top 10 states with the highest percentage of citizens experiencing food shortages. Reporter Dominique Moody introduces us to a woman who faced this hardship, but ultimately came out on top.
When we're hungry, most of us can just go to the grocery store or to a restaurant to grab some food. But for one Duke graduate, that wasn't always the case.
It might seem odd that Rebecca Holmes is in the food business, making healthy treats.
So there were times that we just didn't have enough money to make ends meet, and we would go to shelters and pick up, bags of food, and it was always just whatever was in that bag. So it was bread, it was processed things.
She grew up as a child who faced food insecurity. The only food her family could afford was inexpensive and unhealthy. Holmes was hungry and motivated. She eventually earned a scholarship to attend Duke University, a place where her startup business, LO Raw, was conceived.
Becky was kind of constantly fighting this battle.
Jared Childs met Holmes at a time when she was living in her car. He has a business startup of his own in men's clothing. The two help support each other.
In the moments where everything seems like it's falling apart or you're most desperate, is typically when most people either don't make it, right?
Childs says he's inspired by Holmes' tenacity, saying her journey should bring her tasty success.
And they're all made with under 6 simple ingredients, things like dates, nuts, spices.
That may not sound tasty.
Cinnamon donut is our most popular. This is the one that kids love. That one's like sweet. That's real sweet, right?
Oh, that's good. Wow, that's really good. That's really good.
Now she's looking to expand her online business on store shelves.
When you put good food into your body, you feel good and you feel like you can take on the world.
Rebecca Holmes told me she wants to continue to shed light on food insecurities in communities by reaching our children.
That's reporter Dominique Moody. Thanks for that reporting, Dominique.
Your internet service provider will soon be able to legally monitor your online activity, but in a way, social media sites have been doing that for a while now. To tell us more, we go to Laura Brachet live in the Student Union. Laura, how much of our information is already available online?
Alex, President Trump signed a repeal of broadband privacy rules established during the Obama administration, but a lot of the social media sites we use today already have control over our browser data from the moment we click sign up without reading the small print.
It was crazy.
On a casual social media scroll, Justin Fouts noticed something a little odd after he got tickets to the Deepak play, The Bodyguard.
And I was scrolling through Instagram, and the first ad I saw, probably like 5 swipes down, was an ad for The Bodyguard. I was like, whoa.
Marketers and advertisers call it targeted advertising, using data from your device to track things you like and sell them to you. This is nothing new. Instagram started using targeted advertising in 2015 when its parent company, Facebook, decided it could use advertising on Instagram for profit. John Sternstein, CEO of Stern Security, says Facebook is on the list of networks that save user data and sell it to third-party businesses.
There's really no way to avoid it completely if you're using these services.
Identity theft and security compromise are just some of the risks involved with putting your information in the cloud.
If that third party gets hacked, you now have a third party that has all of your information from your name, birthday, location.
And if you think deleting your profiles is the answer, you're wrong.
If you had it in the past, some of that stuff is still in the cloud somewhere,
You're
right?
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That information is never deleted. Even if you do delete it, it is stored somewhere.
It's a risk social media users seem to be willing to take.
When it comes combining, say, Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, a little bit of Twitter, I'd say I probably check it a good 5 to 6 times a day.
The Federal Communications Commission Chair, Ajit Pai, said that Obama's broadband privacy rules did not actually benefit consumers. If your internet provider is Comcast, Verizon, or AT&T, this repeal will not apply to you, as they say they won't be selling customers' browser information. Alex, back to you.
Well, I guess we'll have to start being extra careful about what we post. That's Laura Brache live at the Student Union. Thanks, Laura. And up next, we'll show you cute microscopic creatures
with really big superpowers.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
And can survive for years. Animals as small as a grain of sand are giving UNC scientists a path to preserving drugs.
Medical reporter Sarah Jones has the story.
They're called tardigrades, also known as water bears. These 8-legged, microscopic creatures can survive extreme, very extreme environmental changes.
They can freeze, they can be heated up past the boiling point of water. They can even survive in the vacuum of outer space.
UNC biologist Thomas Boothby recently published a scientific article on how these creatures survive.
We identified a group of tardigrade-specific proteins essential for the animal's ability to survive when they dry out.
In wet, favourable environments, you could think of these tardigrade proteins like pieces of cooked spaghetti. They don't have a specific shape or structure. When the tardigrade enters a dry environment, the proteins are like dried spaghetti, rigid and linked to form a lattice structure. In the spaces of the lattice, fragile, vital molecules in the tardigrade cells are protected and preserved until the conditions become wet again. UNC graduate student Samantha Puskevich studies how these proteins can help preserve drugs.
Either the molecules they're using or strategies that they're using, and apply those to stabilizing various medications. A lot of drugs right now have to be thrown away after a month or two if they haven't been used, just because they're no longer trustworthy.
Researchers want to use the proteins from the tardigrade to preserve drugs to take them to faraway places without the need for refrigeration. Puskevich says even though these proteins do 5 to 10 times better at preserving drugs than what is currently on the market, getting them approved may take more than a decade. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sarah Jones.
Boothby's labs predict that we could be using the tardigrade technology within this generation's lifetime.
Though the winter weather has been hiding it, a plant that can choke waterways in the summer is a problem in Eno River in Durham. I talked with the scientists who are waiting for warmer temperatures to use a new treatment to work on a wider level. The glistening Eno River flows through Durham and Orange counties. The rushing water brings with it a non-native plant that can have dangerous effects for waterways.
It was brought here from Asia.
Terry Hackett is talking about Hydrilla, an aquatic plant. Tom Davis says it's spread in an unexpected way.
It's likely that it was innocently used in an aquarium, and then someone cleaning out their aquarium, they dump it out, and next thing you know, it's in the watershed, in the river.
And it grows rapidly and can choke ecosystems.
And this hydrilla, if it's allowed to take over the waterway, it will crowd out these native species.
In more stagnant waterways like this spot here on the Eno, hydrilla can grow so thick that people can't fish, swim, or move through the water. In response, lawmakers launched a pilot project in 2015, and both Hackett and Davis took part. It included using an EPA-approved chemical in the waters at Eno that could reduce hydrilla. Can you also cook and eat the fish that you'd catch in a river with this dosage?
Yes, the dosage is so low that you can swim, your pets can be in the water, and that's not a problem.
The program's leaders called the test successful and plan to use the chemical farther up the river. Even with a successful chemical strategy that can stop it, hydrilla is also spread through animals like turtles and by boats and fishermen.
If people can be aware of how it gets moved around and be aware of that and try to minimize the movement or eliminate the movement of the plant, then that can help greatly.
Davis says all who use the river have to do their part. Now, hydrilla is a problem in other parts of the state as well, but now the legislators know that this treatment was successful, they can approve its use in other places too.
The Tony Award-winning musical In the Heights is coming to Chapel Hill thanks to the UNC Poppers player. The student-led production tells the story of family and community in the Latin neighborhood of Washington Heights in Manhattan. The musical is penned by Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame. The cast is Popper Players' first mostly minority ensemble since the group's start in 1989. The show will run from April 7th to the 10th at the Arts Center in Carborough. Well, we thought spring had sprung, but it's getting cold again this weekend. Alex Clement is up next with the weather.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Hi, thanks for staying with us and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm meteorologist Alex Clement with your weather. First thing I want to let you know about is the entire southeast is under a risk for severe weather as we move into the overnight hours. If we take a look at the surface map, I can explain a little better what's going on right now. We have all this warm, moist air in the southeast, and that's what's causing all this rain here as this boundary of cold, dry air pushes eastwards toward the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to lift that and cause those severe thunderstorms. And the closer it gets to the state, the more severe that weather has the potential to get as we move into the overnight hours. As we look for tomorrow, you can see that frontal boundary is well on its way. I wouldn't be surprised if when you woke up and left the house, you saw a few thunderstorms early in the morning around 8 a.m., lingering thunderstorms well on their way, but we will rebound and it will become quite a nice day as we move into tomorrow. Today, 73. Rain and clouds, gusty winds are possible as we move into the evening as those storms progress and come closer to the area. Tonight, those storms get a little closer. We have a possibility of some severe weather as it moves in isolated areas. It depends. There's not really a timeline on that. Just if you have a weather radio, it's definitely a good idea to keep that on and pay attention to the changing conditions. We will drop down into the low 60s throughout the night, and then tomorrow we actually drop as we go through the day. This low is tonight, and we actually rebound as we go through the morning hours. So 8 a.m. when you're on your way out the door, we're in the mid to low 60s. Staying with that around noon, but then we're dropping into the upper 50s as we go throughout the evening. It will get a little chilly tomorrow night, but nothing too bad. And as I said, those thunderstorms may be around in the early morning, but we'll be clearing out, getting partly cloudy to clear as we go throughout the day. Take a look at the baseball forecast. You can see Sunday, UNC takes on Boston College at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a pretty day. 67 degrees around 1 and 73 at the end of it. Clear all day long. If you're looking to get out of town for the weekend, the same story goes for the entire state. It's a little chilly start to the weekend, but definitely sunny for both Saturday and Sunday. Chilly overnight. We have 65 on Saturday at Wrightsville Beach with a high of in the low 70s. And then if you're going camping, be at a great place to camp at. Hanging Rock is a little chilly on Saturday. The overnight gets into the 30s, so not really ideal for camping this weekend, but Sunday's a great day for hiking, and it's only a couple hours west. For the 5-day forecast, you can see we take a little dip. We start out in the mid-60s tomorrow, dropping into the upper 50s on Friday, but then we rebound quickly as we move into the weekend with mid-70s on Sunday and near 80, possibly low 80s on Monday.
Well, I was very nervous about the weather on Monday night. I thought rain would have made for an interesting rush to Franklin Street.
It was dry. It was dry. But speaking of April showers, this week is actually pretty dry. Why is that? Why are we seeing this dry weather?
The dry weather is because there's a high pressure system moving in, and that's what's pushing that cold air boundary this way, which is what's going to cause the storms as we go into the overnight hours. But after that frontal boundary passes, that dry air will move in, and the closer that boundary gets, it's going to start bringing up more warm air from the Gulf again.
All right, well, I'm sure we'll see some more April showers, but thank you for that update, Alex. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We are officially the University of National Champions across the entire sports program.
One more look at the most recent Natty coming up next.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
April 5th, 2017, and yes, the North Carolina Tar Heels are still your national champions. Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. My name is Brett Thompson, and what a week it has been in Chapel Hill. You've already seen the responses from the players and the students alike, but let's take one last look at the game Monday night. It's North Carolina, it's Gonzaga, it's the two best teams in the country playing for a banner. This game was bowling shoe ugly throughout, but Joel Berry kept the Heels alive with a game-high 22 points. Let's skip to the final 2 minutes of Zags. Nigel Williams-Goss backs down Theo Pinson and banks it in. Bulldogs up 2. Next possession, it's going to be Justin Jackson, the hoop plus the harm. Check out the find from Theo Pinson. A minute later, the Heels are up 1. It's the senior Isaiah Hicks muscling it in. The man Jenkins shot over in 2016 gives the Heels a 3-point lead. The next possession, it's Kennedy Meeks with the block. Up to Barry, out to Justin Jackson, who slams home the ghost of Chris Jenkins. The North Carolina Tar Heels bring home their 6th national title, and Joel Berry is your most outstanding player.
worked so hard to get back to this spot, and I mean, I can't even describe what it is, but we worked so hard, and we've been wanting this all year long, and we finally got what we wanted. We had redemption the whole time, and we came back and got it.
So with that honor, Joel Berry will join ACC Player of the Year Justin Jackson in the rafters of the Dean Dome, one of the greatest honors you can achieve as a Tar Heel. A man equally worthy of that honor, though, who still has a chance to get up there, is senior big man, Big Snacks himself, Kennedy Meeks. Meeks carried the Tar Heels throughout the tournament, averaging almost 11 points and 12 boards per game. He provided in key moments, too, hitting the putback to help the Heels survive against Arkansas and Greenville and pulling down the missed free throw against Oregon in the Final Four, and finally blocking Williams-Goss, as you just saw, to seal the national title. Now, Meeks still has a chance to put his name in the rafters, as the team's MVP from a national title winner will have his jersey raised up with the rest of them. Now, that will put him in familiar company if his teammates vote for him, as he would join the rest of the 2016 starting lineup that lost to Villanova. Marcus Page and Bryce Johnson got their names up there last year, and Jackson and Berry cemented their legacies this season. And you know what? That says a lot about the coaching of Roy Williams. None of these guys is one-and-done talent, yet all of them will be remembered among the Tar Heel greats. The win adds even more to Old Roy's legacy. Let's take a look at where he stands among the all-timers. The win gives Roy Williams his third national title, which gives him half of the school's NCAA banners, and yes, that includes one more than his mentor, the legendary Dean Smith. Williams is only the sixth coach to win 3 titles, joining some elite company. Look at that right there. John Wooden, Mike Krzyzewski, Adolph Rupp, some wonderful names. And finally, the title game was Williams' 100th career NCAA tournament game. He's won 76 of them. That's good for second all time. And with national titles comes massive turnarounds as seniors depart and talented underclassmen declare for the NBA draft. Let's take a look at what the starting lineup could look like next year, assuming everyone sticks around. The backcourt would remain the same, with seniors Joel Berry, Justin Jackson, and Theo Pinson leading the way, pending Jackson's decision about the NBA, obviously. And the front court is guaranteed to undergo a full overhaul, with Meeks and Hicks graduating, leaving Luke May and Tony Bradley at the 4 and the 5.
Thanks for that awesome update, Brett, and all those insights. Had no idea about any of that. Well, these puppies are not joking around.
Local canine cops are getting some serious new equipment. That's coming up next.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
I've come up with the family emergency plan.
What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
They are vital members of the police force.
Police dogs help officers do their jobs better, and reporter Lex Juarez shows us how one community is playing its canine unit back.
Meet Ark. He's a 2-year-old mixed breed and family pet with an important job. He works around the clock in Morrisville as a police officer with his handler, Senior Officer Carl Rodriguez.
He's been working really good for us, and he's always ready to go.
Part of what keeps Arco ready to go is his new state-of-the-art canine vest.
And these vests are unique because they're custom fitted to that dog. So a size template is sent, and the dog is measured, and then the vest is cut and created.
This vest cost $2,500 to make. Donations from community members paid the cost. And while there are other canine vests out there, Officer Rodriguez says none measure up to the effectiveness of this one.
Like my last dog, I had a vest that wasn't this good. The dog couldn't wear it all the time because it was just heavier, it wasn't custom fitted.
The old vest tired out the canine unit, leaving the officer without an effective partner. But Officer Rodriguez says the safety of his dog is what's most important.
It's reassuring to the maximum that I know when he comes to work that I have done everything I can to protect him, because in reality, he does everything he can to protect me.
Arco is always leading the way in the field, putting him in the most danger. Rodriguez says getting this vest is the most the community could ever do for him.
The dog is going to work for 7-8 years, He's going to get paid a bag of dog food a month. He's going to get some toys. Why would you not protect him, you know?
And by protecting Arco, the community is assured to be protected themselves. In Mooresville, I'm Lex Juarez reporting.
Now on to a musical surprise from campus earlier today.